Racist cop Wade Riker storms in, shoving Marcus Reed to the floor, screaming racial slurs at him and his family. He terrorizes the house, mocking and threatening them violently, blinded by hatred until he realizes Marcus is an NSA deputy director. Before we start the story, tell me, where are you watching from? And if these stories speak to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Marcus Reed, a composed black man in his early 40s, sits at the kitchen table in his usual morning uniform. Crisp navy t-shirt tucked into dark jeans, coffee steaming in hand, tablet open with sensitive NSA reports glowing on the screen. The Reed household is quiet. Zoe, his 9-year-old daughter, spins her toy figurines on the living room carpet, giggling softly. Tasha, his wife, is humming while preparing breakfast, arranging plates and utensils, smiling as she sets a sunny morning vibe. Everything seems normal. Everything about to shatter. Then, bang! The front door explodes inward. Wood splinters fly across the hallway. Marcus freezes mid-sip, heart slamming. Dust, chaos, and the smell of gunpowder fill the air. Officer Wade Riker, rookie cop, full tactical gear, boots clanging, badge shining, utility belt loaded, barrels in first, screaming, "Get on the floor, boy, now!" Zoe screams, her voice shrill and terrified. Tasha yells, "What the hell are you doing? Stop!" But Riker doesn't acknowledge her. He's in a frenzy, pure hate driving every movement. He grabs Marcus, shoving him against the wall, slanting him with enough force to rattle the family portraits. Every shove is punctuated with racial slurs. "Don't give me that 'I'm better than you' act, boy. You think your fancy title means shit? I'll show you your place." Marcus raises his hands slowly, trying to reason, calm but authoritative. "Officer, my name is Marcus Reed. I'm an NSA deputy director. You've got the wrong house." Riker laughs, spitting in Marcus's direction, smirk wide. "Boy, I don't care if you work for the president himself. I see you. I know what you are. A liar, a hustler, a smartass black dude, thinking he runs shit." Tasha steps forward, arms flailing, screaming for him to stop. "Step away from him. Leave my family alone." Riker shoves her back roughly. "Sit your ass down, lady, before I make it personal." He spins, rips drawers open, knocks over mugs, throws papers across the room, trashing the kitchen like he owns it. Every word dripping with hate. Every action fueled by extreme racism. Zoe cries, hugging the couch, shaking uncontrollably. Riker spots her and sneers. "Don't worry, little girl. Gaddy gon' learn real quick what happens when you think you're safe." Riker shoves Marcus to the ground, knee pressing into his back. Marcus grits his teeth, holding back the fury and panic. He shields Zoe with his body as best as he can, muttering through clenched teeth. "Do what you gotta do, but you're gonna regret this." Riker leans closer, face twisted with malice. "Regret? Boy, you're nothing. Just another black man thinking he's untouchable. I'll show you your place." The living room is a war zone. Overturned chairs, shattered mugs, papers fluttering like leaves in a hurricane of fear. Sunlight cuts through the dust, glinting off Riker's badge and gun. Extreme racism saturates every inch of the scene. Riker yells, shoves, mocks, and terrorizes the family just for the color of their skin. His violence is personal, targeted, and deliberate. Marcus's mind races, calculating, staying calm, keeping his composure to protect Zoe and Tasha. The neighbors peek cautiously from windows, pulling out phones, already sensing the extreme injustice unfolding. Riker's arrogance blinds him, and he doesn't realize that Marcus's calm and discipline come from training that could easily turn the tables. Every second stretches, Zoe crying, Tasha screaming, Marcus pinned, Riker shouting racial slurs, kicking the coffee table, laughing at the situation. Marcus grips Zoe's shoulder, whispering, "It's okay, Zoe. Daddy's right here. Just stay down, stay safe." The tension is unbearable. Riker's knee digs harder into Marcus's back. He grabs family photos, tosses them to the floor, laughs at the destruction he's causing, calls Marcus every slur imaginable. Extreme racism is not subtle here. It's aggressive, loud, and demeaning, showing the true terror of being a black family in the wrong place at the wrong time. Even as Marcus absorbs the hate, he keeps scanning, thinking, protecting, waiting for the moment when the world will have to acknowledge him, when the reality of his power and authority will crush Riker's assumptions. But for now, the family suffers under relentless racial violence. The chaos is total. The fear is visceral. The sound of shattering wood and screams echoes through the Reed household. Marcus is pinned beneath Officer Wade Riker, every ounce of his strength held down by the officer's knee pressing into his back. Marcus can feel the heat of hatred radiating off Riker, every word, every shove, every laugh dripping with extreme racism. "You think your life means shit in here, boy," Riker sneers, voice hoarse with anger and contempt. "I'll teach you to respect the law, my way." Tasha screams, "Stop it! Leave them alone!" and lunges forward. Riker spins, catching her arm, yanking her backwards so hard she stumbles across the hardwood floor. "I said stay down, lady! You don't talk when I talk," he yells, laughing like the terror he's causing is entertainment. Zoe hides behind the couch, trembling, clutching her stuffed bunny, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Mommy, Daddy," she sobs, voice barely audible over the chaos. Riker rips through the living room, kicking over a side table, sending mugs and plates crashing to the floor. He snatches up Marcus's tablet and tosses it aside, watching it shatter against the wall. Every movement, every shout, every threat is fueled by unfiltered racial hatred. Not a single ounce of empathy. "Boy, you think your fancy job protects you? Ain't nobody here giving a damn." Marcus rolls his eyes, staying calm despite the pain in his back and the crushing weight of Riker's knee. He keeps one arm shielding Zoe, whispering, "It's all right, baby girl. Stay low. Stay safe. Daddy's got you." He knows the officer doesn't care about rules, justice, or facts, only about the color of his skin. The very air is thick with extreme racism, a force so palpable it makes the family's hearts pound. Riker's shouts attract the attention of backup officers. They pour in, uniforms dark, faces stern, hands on weapons, scanning Marcus with suspicion and disdain. One of them, a young officer, mutters, "He doesn't look like a threat," but Riker snaps at him. "Shut your mouth. Every black dude in this house is a suspect until proven innocent." His words are brutal, mocking, cruel, designed to humiliate and terrorize Marcus and his family. Tasha presses herself against the wall, trying to shield Zoe, her voice cracking. "You don't understand. He's a federal agent. He's—" Riker cuts her off with a savage shove, slamming her into the kitchen counter. "I don't care what he is. You're all criminals in my eyes." His laughter mixes with Zoe's terrified cries, echoing through the house. The room feels like a war zone. Furniture smashed, papers strewn, sunlight streaming through dust and broken blinds. Marcus feels the rage rising inside him, but keeps a tight lid on it. Every instinct screams at him to fight back, to end this madness. But he knows if he acts rashly, Zoe and Tasha could get hurt. And Riker is unpredictable, violent, and fueled by extreme racism. He calculates, plans, waits for the exact moment to flip the situation. Riker notices Marcus moving his hands slightly, muttering under his breath, and yells, "What the hell are you doing, boy? You plotting, huh? You think you can outsmart me? I'll break you right here." His knee digs harder into Marcus's back, his voice dripping with malicious glee. The officers surrounding them do nothing, complicit, silent witnesses to the racial abuse. Zoe shrieks as Riker grabs a family photograph, tossing it aside like it's worthless. Tasha lunges for it, trying to catch it, but Riker smacks her hand away, mocking her. "You love your pictures more than you love obeying me, huh?" Pathetic. He steps closer to Marcus, face inches from his, and spits. "This is your lesson, boy. You and your whole family. Remember this day." The chaos stretches on, minutes feeling like hours. Marcus, soaked in sweat, heart pounding, mind sharp, begins to plan the subtle moves that will protect his family and finally expose Riker's extreme racial hatred. He whispers to Zoe, "Stay low, baby girl. Daddy's got this. Just trust me." Tasha, shivering and furious, glares at Riker, silently promising revenge for this humiliation. Outside, neighbors peek through blinds, phones raised. Some film the terror, gasping at the level of aggression and abuse. Riker yells over them, "Back off. This is none of your business. You watching, you better keep your mouth shut too." His voice is a weapon wielded with extreme racial malice. The Reed home has transformed into a battlefield. Every second Marcus keeps calm is a gamble. Every second Riker and his unit enforce violent racial hatred, escalates the tension, pushing the family closer to the breaking point. Marcus knows he cannot lose his composure. One wrong move could turn this nightmare into tragedy. Riker's knee is still digging into Marcus Reed's back, sweat dripping down both men's faces. His face is twisted with pure hatred, eyes wild, voice dripping venom. "You think you're better than me, huh? Just another fancy black dude thinking he's untouchable. I'll show you your place," he snarls, pushing Marcus harder into the hardwood floor. Marcus grits his teeth, every fiber of his body screaming, but he keeps his calm, shielding Zoe with one arm, whispering softly, "Stay down, baby girl. Daddy's got you. Don't move." Zoe curls tighter behind him, sobbing, clutching her stuffed bunny as Tasha scrambles to block Riker's next attack. Riker glances around, smirking at the chaos he's created. Your wife, your kid, all scared. That's the point, boy. You don't deserve peace. Ain't nothing but trouble when you walk into my city, thinking your skin and fancy job protect you. His voice cracks with laughter, his hand grabbing a stack of papers from the kitchen table and tossing them violently to the floor. Honor roll certificates, school drawings, bills scattered across the room like confetti in a war zone. Tasha yells, "You're insane! Stop! You have no right!" Riker shoves her backward again, laughing at her defiance. "I got all the right, lady. All of it. You think your husband's big title matters? Ain't nobody giving a damn." Every word, every shove, every kick is pure extreme racism, targeted, personal, meant to humiliate and terrorize the family for simply existing as black people in a neighborhood Riker believes he controls. Marcus tries again to reason, voice calm, precise. "Officer, look at me. I'm Marcus Reed, Deputy Director of the NSA. You're making a federal-level mistake here." Riker pauses for a second, sneering, incredulous. "Boy, I don't care what fancy badge you got. You ain't nothing but another black dude thinking he's above me. I don't see an NSA. I see a threat, and I'll handle it my way." Riker grabs Marcus's shoulders, slamming him into the kitchen counter. The metal counter rattles under the impact. Zoe cries out, "Daddy!" and Riker laughs, stepping toward her. Tasha pushes between them, screaming, "Stay away from my daughter, you monster!" Riker smirks, pointing his finger at Marcus like a gun. You little punk? You think you run shit? You and your little family? Ain't nobody here respecting you. Not me, not my boys, not a damn soul. The other officers stand by silently, complicit, letting their peers' racism dictate every action in the house. The room is chaos. Broken mugs, scattered papers, overturned chairs, shards of wood from the door everywhere. Marcus keeps his calm, eyes darting to Zoe, to Tasha, to every exit, calculating his moves. Every insult, every shove, every racial slur hurled at him fuels an internal storm. His training kicks in, mental discipline guiding him. He whispers, "Zoe, stay down. Tasha, keep her safe. I'm handling this." Riker, oblivious to Marcus's control, escalates further. He grabs a photo frame of Marcus's graduation, shoves it into the floor, laughing while stepping over the shards. "Look at this, boy. You think your education matters? I'll show you how it matters when you're on the floor where you belong." His boots scrape dangerously close to Zoe, who screams, clutching her mom. Minutes stretch like hours. The extreme racism saturates the air. It's a living, breathing presence in the Reed home, suffocating and violent. Riker's hate is aggressive, deliberate, personal. Every motion is a calculated attempt to humiliate, terrify, and assert control over Marcus and his family. Then, Marcus subtly shifts, just enough to reveal the NSA badge tucked in his shirt pocket. "Officer, you need to stop now," he warns, voice calm but steel beneath it. Riker catches a glimpse and scoffs. "Boy, don't try that with me. That ain't gonna save you." He doesn't yet realize the gravity of the mistake he's made. The tension ratchets higher. Tasha shields Zoe with her body, sweat and tears streaming down her face. Marcus prepares mentally. The moment of revelation is coming, and when it hits, Riker's arrogance will collide with reality. The extreme racism has reached its peak. The family terrorized beyond words, and Marcus is poised to turn the tide. Riker's knee is still pressing into Marcus's back, sweat dripping down his forehead. His breathing is heavy, chest heaving, face twisted with pure rage. "I don't care who you think you are, boy. You acting like you run shit. I'll show you your damn place," he spits, laughing cruelly, shoving Marcus against the floorboards so hard the boards creak under the pressure. Zoe's sobs pierce the chaos, and Tasha tries desperately to shield her, ducking as Riker spins and kicks over a side chair. Marcus grits his teeth, staying calm despite the pain radiating through his back and ribs. He keeps one arm over Zoe, whispering, "Stay low, baby girl. Daddy's right here. Don't move." He knows Riker's rage is entirely fueled by skin color, and every ounce of extreme racism is intended to humiliate and terrorize his family. Then, in a split second, Marcus subtly shifts and lets the NSA badge slip into clear view, dangling from the lanyard around his neck. Riker's head snaps toward it. For a fraction of a second, the sneer falters. "Wait, what's that?" he mutters, eyes widening, disbelief creeping into his posture. His arrogance, his hate, everything built on the assumption that Marcus is just another black man in the wrong house, begins to crumble. Riker lunges forward, pointing, shaking the badge. You're lying. That can't be real." He spins toward the other officers, who glance at Marcus, shocked, mouths opening and closing. The reality hits. Marcus Reed, the man they've been violently terrorizing, is not only a federal official, but an NSA deputy director. But Riker doesn't stop his racist tirade immediately. For a few long, tense seconds, he doubles down, yelling, "I don't care what you are. I don't care if you run the whole damn government. You're still a thug in my eyes. You ain't nothing but a black boy in my city." The words drip with venom, his voice a weapon of pure extreme racism, refusing to acknowledge authority because of skin color. Tasha screams, "Stop it! He's telling the truth, you insane cop!" Zoe, crying uncontrollably, hides behind her mother, clutching her bunny tightly. The room is a mess. Broken dishes, scattered papers, splintered furniture, sunlight slicing through the dust like shards of glass. Riker steps on a torn certificate, mocking, "Look at this. Honor roll, student council, all worthless in my eyes. You think your fancy life matters? Not here, boy. Not in my house." Marcus rolls his eyes, staying calm, controlling his breathing, keeping Zoe and Tasha protected. Every fiber of his body is ready. One wrong move could escalate this further. He whispers to Tasha, "Stay calm, don't engage him. Just let them see reality hit them." Finally, Riker's smirk falters. His hands shake slightly as he glances at the badge again, panic flashing in his eyes. His chest heaves, sweat rolling down, and he stammers, "No, this can't be right. You're lying." The extreme racism that fueled his rampage now conflicts with the undeniable truth. The room goes tense, neighbors peeking, phones raised, filming every second, capturing the officer's humiliation. Riker's knee slips slightly off Marcus's back, and he looks around for backup, as if seeking validation for the world he just assumed he controlled. The other officers are frozen, eyes darting between Marcus and the raging rookie. Some glance at each other, realizing they've witnessed blatant racial violence, targeted and intentional. Marcus finally rises, keeping his calm, but his presence alone shifts the energy. "Officer Riker," he says, voice steady, "I suggest you step back. You've made a huge mistake, not just with me, but with your career and your life." His words are calm, but every syllable carries authority, power, and righteous anger. Riker stumbles backwards slightly, eyes wide, realizing the full gravity of his actions. His face flushes red, not just with exertion, but with the first taste of humiliation he's ever felt. The extreme racism that had driven him for minutes now seems empty against the sheer reality of Marcus's authority. Tasha clings to Zoe, shaking, whispering, "We're safe, finally." But Marcus knows the danger isn't over. Extreme racism doesn't vanish instantly, and Riker's ego is shattered but volatile. The chaos has left its mark: broken furniture, shattered pride, and a terrifying reminder that assumptions fueled by hate can almost destroy lives. The neighbors outside continue filming, murmuring, shocked at what they've witnessed. A black family terrorized in their own home by a racist cop. Even as reality finally forces the officers to face the consequences of their blind hatred. The house is still a storm of chaos. Broken mugs, scattered papers, overturned chairs, and splintered door frames litter the floor. Zoe, trembling, clutches her stuffed bunny as Tasha holds her tight, whispering, "It's okay, baby. Daddy's here." Marcus Reed, still in his navy t-shirt and dark jeans, rises slowly from the floor, brushing dust off, eyes scanning the room with deadly calm. Every muscle in his body radiates control, authority, and a barely contained fury. The air is thick with tension and extreme racism, the residue of Officer Wade Riker's hatred lingering like smoke. Riker stumbles backward, hands shaking, face red, chest heaving. His knee, once so aggressive on Marcus, now hovers nervously, unsure, almost hesitant. His arrogance has crumbled in the face of undeniable reality. Marcus is not just a black man, not just a civilian, but an NSA deputy director. The very concept shakes Riker's ego to the core. You lied. You can't be. Riker sputters, trying to regain control, but the words die in his throat. The extreme racism that fueled him, the assumptions about Marcus's skin and supposed place, now conflicts violently with the undeniable truth. Every action, every shove, every slur he hurled is exposed as ignorant brutality. Outside, neighbors have phones raised, recording every second. Voices murmur in disbelief. Someone shouts, "Call 911. Look at what they're doing in there." The documentation of the racist attack has begun to turn the tables on the officer. Every lie Riker thought was safe behind his badge is now visible, clear, undeniable. Marcus moves deliberately, slow and measured, keeping his eyes on Riker. "Step back, officer, now," he says, voice calm, controlled, yet radiating authority. "You've made a massive mistake. Not just here. Your career, your freedom, your life are about to reflect that." Each word lands like a hammer, shattering the remaining vestiges of Riker's pride. Tasha shields Zoe, trembling, whispering reassurances, but her eyes never leave Riker. "You're going down, Wade. You have no idea who you just messed with," she mutters under her breath, rage and fear mixing in her tone. Riker swings around to call for backup, shouting at the other officers. "I need backup! She's lying! He's lying! Get me out of here!" His voice cracks, panic creeping in as the weight of exposure settles. The other officers glance at Marcus and then at each other, suddenly aware of the magnitude of the situation. Their silence, previously complicity, now turns into fear and uncertainty. Some pull back, others fumble with their radios. The camera pans, metaphorically and literally, across the chaos, papers fluttering, shattered coffee cups, the sunlight slicing through the dust like spotlight on injustice. Zoe's sobs echo against the walls. Tasha's trembling hands clutch her daughter, and Marcus, standing firm, radiates control. The room is heavy with the residue of extreme racism, humiliation, and the first taste of justice beginning to seep in. Riker's face is pale, sweat streaming, as reality hits him. I didn't know," he mutters, voice cracking, trying to justify every vile racist action. Marcus ignores him, focusing on his family's safety first, but every word from Riker now rings hollow in the presence of authority, truth, and law. Outside, neighbors record, whisper, and some call local news. Every second of this racist assault, previously assumed safe behind a badge, is now evidence for the world. Extreme racism, once unchecked, is now being exposed in real time. Riker's reputation, ego, and career teeter on the edge of collapse. Marcus kneels for a moment, checking Zoe, brushing her hair back, whispering softly, "You're safe now, baby girl. Daddy's got you. We're gonna get through this." His calm contrasts sharply with the chaos, showing both restraint and power. Tasha nods, gripping Zoe, eyes still locked on Riker, her fury barely contained. Riker stumbles backward again, looking at his fellow officers, realizing he's alone in his arrogance and hatred. Extreme racism, unrestrained for minutes, is now mirrored back at him. Humiliation, exposure, and accountability. His ego, once fueled by racial assumptions, now collapses under truth. The room remains chaotic, the furniture ruined, the family shaken. But Marcus has gained the first real measure of control. Extreme racism has been challenged. Authority, truth, and law stand ready to enforce justice. The fallout has only begun, and the narrative is shifting. Riker is no longer the predator. The world is watching. The chaos inside the Reed household has reached a fever pitch. Marcus Reed, standing tall in his navy t-shirt and dark jeans, watches Officer Wade Riker stumble backward, sweat streaming down his face, chest heaving, eyes wide with disbelief. His arrogance has completely collapsed under the weight of reality. The extreme racism that drove him moments ago, the verbal abuse, the shoves, the racial slurs, now bounces back at him like a storm he cannot control. Zoe, clutching her stuffed bunny, cowers behind Tasha, her tiny body trembling, eyes wide with fear. Tasha shields her daughter with every ounce of strength she has, white pants streaked with dust and sweat, pink blouse rumpled, but her gaze is sharp, burning with protective fury. Every moment is charged with fear and anger, the family's vulnerability accentuating the terror Riker has wrought. Riker glances at the shattered kitchen table, the scattered honor roll certificates, torn student council papers, and broken mugs. Each object is a reminder of the havoc he unleashed in his blind, racist rage. He raises his hands, voice cracking, as he looks around the room at neighbors peeking through blinds, phones pointed, some recording, others whispering to friends. I didn't mean, he stammers, panic replacing the hatred that had fueled him. Marcus takes a slow, measured step forward, eyes locked on Riker, voice calm but carrying undeniable authority. Step back, Officer Riker. Your actions are on video. Every racial slur, every shove, every violent act you just committed is documented. You're gonna face the consequences. His words slice through the tension like a knife, each syllable reinforcing that the predator's moment of power is over. Riker's hands shake violently. He tries to bark another order at the other officers, but they hesitate, unsure, watching their colleague unravel. Some whisper to each other, "Did you see that? He's going down. That's extreme." Riker's gaze flickers toward Marcus's badge, now clearly visible, the NSA insignia glinting in the sunlight streaming through broken blinds. Reality hits him. The man he terrorized isn't just anyone. He is powerful, untouchable, and legally protected. Tasha whispers to Zoe, calming her, "Baby girl, it's almost over. Just stay close to me." She keeps her daughter low, rocking her gently, while keeping her eyes on Riker, ensuring he can't approach again. Extreme fear radiates off both mother and daughter, a physical manifestation of the terror Riker's racism imposed. Riker stumbles backward again, glancing at the neighbors, their phones now actively recording. He realizes that his actions, once hidden behind the shield of uniform, are fully exposed to the public. The extreme racism, which made him feel untouchable, now isolates him completely. The officers who once stood silently in complicity begin to shift uncomfortably, aware of the irreversible damage this situation will have on careers, reputations, and lives. Marcus keeps a steady gaze, assessing every threat, every angle, ensuring his family remains safe. You've crossed a line, Riker. You think your badge protects you, but your hate is no shield. You violated the law, abused power, and shown extreme racism in the most violent, obvious way. It ends now. Riker's face flushes red, eyes darting around, panic consuming him. He kicks a broken chair, shouting, His voice, once filled with authority and venom, now trembles of fear, exposing the cowardice behind his hate. Marcus moves closer, keeping one protective eye on Zoe and Tasha. "Step back, or I will ensure you're held accountable." The calm authority in his tone makes Riker pause, teetering between rage and fear. For the first time, Riker experiences the personal consequences of unchecked racism. As neighbors watch, phones recording, justice beginning to edge into the scene. Outside, whispers ripple through the block. "Did you see that? He's a federal agent." That cop is in so much trouble. The social pressure, the public exposure, and the undeniable evidence of extreme racism begin to crush Riker psychologically. Marcus kneels briefly to check on Zoe, brushing hair back from her face, whispering, "We're safe, baby girl. Daddy's got you. That's over now." Tasha holds her daughter close, fear still lingering but mingled with relief. Every ounce of terror they felt under Riker's knee, every insult, every racial slur, every violent shove, now begins to transform into proof, evidence, and the beginning of accountability. Riker collapses slightly onto a chair, shaking, eyes darting around at the neighbors recording him, at Marcus, at the mess he created, at his own hands, which hours ago held the power of unrestrained, violent racism. That power is gone, replaced by humiliation, exposure, and fear. Extreme racism, once an instrument of terror, has now become his downfall. The room is chaotic, still in disarray, broken furniture, scattered papers, overturned chairs. But Marcus's calm, authority, and measured presence contrast sharply with Riker's unraveling. Extreme racism, unchecked, cannot stand against truth, law, and exposure. The neighbors' phones are silent witnesses, ready to testify, while Marcus, Tasha, and Zoe slowly gather themselves, reclaiming safety and dignity in the aftermath of terror. The Reed household is a war zone, but now the battle has shifted from physical terror to public exposure. Marcus Reed, still in his navy t-shirt and dark jeans, stands in the middle of the ruined living room. Zoe, clinging to his leg, Tasha gripping her arm. Their home is wrecked, papers torn and scattered across the floor, broken mugs and plates, splintered furniture, sunlight cutting through dust like harsh spotlights on the chaos. Every detail speaks of the extreme racism Officer Wade Riker unleashed on this family. Riker stands frozen near the kitchen, uniform disheveled, tactical vest askew, hands trembling, eyes darting at neighbors filming from the street. The realization of his actions, all caught on camera, begins to crush him psychologically. Every shove, every racial slur, every kick, every humiliation is now undeniably documented, proving the extreme racial hatred that guided his violence. One neighbor shouts from the sidewalk, phone raised. "You need to stop this, sir. We're calling this in." Another records, whispering, "This is insane. He's attacking a federal agent's family." The other officers, who stood silently in complicity, begin to murmur nervously among themselves. Some glance at Marcus's clearly displayed badge and the evidence of Riker's unchecked extreme racism, realizing the legal storm about to hit. Riker spins, trying to regain authority. "You're lying! This isn't real! He's lying to cover something!" His voice cracks, panic overtaking anger. Extreme racism, which moments ago gave him confidence and aggression, now isolates him entirely. The other officers are hesitant. The public is recording, and Marcus exudes undeniable control. Marcus keeps his calm, stepping slightly forward to position himself between Riker and his family. "It is real, and you've already committed crimes, assault, racial harassment, and abuse of power. Every second of your actions is recorded. Every slur, every shove, every kick will be in the report. His voice, steady and commanding, fills the room with authority, highlighting the stark contrast between the disciplined, powerful black man and the unraveling, racist rookie officer. Tasha tightens her grip on Zoe, whispering, "It's okay, baby girl. We're safe now." She keeps her eyes on Riker, who stumbles backward, realizing the neighbors are witnesses, phones pointed, mouths whispering, and every piece of evidence is stacking against him. Extreme racism, once a tool of terror, now becomes the chain that binds him. Riker's breathing is erratic, his face red and sweaty. The uniform that once signaled authority, now a symbol of exposed hatred. I didn't. I was just doing my job. I was following protocol," he stammers, voice cracking as the words collide with reality. Marcus's calm stare never wavers. "Following protocol? You attacked an innocent family because of their skin color and assumed wealth. That's not protocol, that's hate, and it will be punished accordingly." The neighborhood grows louder, some residents calling emergency services, others filming. The extreme racism that drove Riker's actions has now ensured his public humiliation. His authority evaporates in the sunlight streaming through the blinds, spotlighting his violence for all to see. Marcus kneels for a moment, checking Zoe, brushing her hair back gently. "We're okay now, baby girl. Daddy's here. Everything's gonna be fine," he whispers, keeping a calm demeanor despite the wreckage around them. Tasha exhales shakily, tears streaming, but her posture is defiant. Extreme racism may have terrorized them, but it has not broken them. Riker staggers, looking at the mess, the cameras, Marcus's calm, unwavering gaze. The extreme racism that fueled him, the assumptions that gave him confidence to brutalize, now crumble under exposure, authority, and undeniable power. His career, badge, and future are dangling precariously as the first legal wheels begin to turn. Every broken chair, scattered certificate, and terrified cry of Zoe and Tasha stands as a testament to the consequences of unchecked racial hatred. Marcus's control, strategic restraint, and authority highlight the contrast between power rooted in competence and respect versus power rooted in prejudice and fear. Riker finally sinks into a chair, hands trembling, realizing the extreme racism he wielded as a weapon is now the very thing ensuring his downfall. The public, neighbors, and cameras are witnesses. Nothing can erase the truth of what transpired. The Reed family gathers, bruised but safe, surrounding Zoe, and Marcus surveys the room, each detail of destruction a reminder of the extreme racial hatred they survived. Justice is beginning to take form, and for the first time, Riker sees clearly that his hatred, unchecked and violent, has no protection in the light of truth, authority, and accountability. The Reed home is still a scene of chaos. Splintered chairs, broken mugs, scattered papers, and shards of glass reflecting sunlight through the blinds, like a harsh spotlight on the violent events that unfolded. But now, the air has shifted. Marcus Reed, in his navy t-shirt and dark jeans, stands tall and calm, eyes scanning his home to ensure Zoe and Tasha are truly safe. The terror of the last hours, fueled by Riker's extreme racism, is slowly giving way to a new reality. Accountability. Zoe clings tightly to Marcus, her small hands gripping his leg, tears still streaking her face, but slowly fading as she senses her father's protective presence. Tasha wraps her arms around both Zoe and Marcus, her body shaking with lingering adrenaline, but her eyes are sharp, defiant, and filled with the quiet satisfaction of survival. The family's calm in the midst of destruction serves as a stark contrast to Riker's unraveling. Riker slumps in a chair near the doorway, uniform disheveled, tactical vest skewed, face pale and sweating. Every fiber of his being is consumed by panic, shame, and fear. The extreme racism that fueled his violence, the verbal assaults, the shoves, the deliberate intimidation, has collapsed in the harsh light of reality. Every insult, every act of brutality, every assumption he made because of Marcus's skin color has been recorded, documented, and broadcast to the world around him. "Step back, Riker," Marcus says, voice calm, precise, unwavering. "It's over. The law, the evidence, and the public eye are all on your side now. You've exposed yourself as violent, racist, and unfit for duty. The consequences will follow." His words hang in the air like a verdict, heavy and undeniable. Riker's hands tremble as he glances around the room, realizing he's surrounded not by fear, but by witnesses, neighbors with phones raised, capturing every word and every gesture. Some whisper to each other, "He's finished. Look at him. Can't believe he attacked a federal official." Others nod, silent, their recordings ready to serve as evidence of extreme racism and abuse of authority. The uniform that once symbolized control now serves only to highlight his exposure. The extreme racism that had emboldened him moments ago is now the very thing ensuring his downfall. Marcus's calm, steady authority underscores the stark contrast: competence, respect, and law, versus prejudice, aggression, and fear. Marcus kneels briefly to adjust Zoe's hair, whispering softly, "We're safe now, baby girl. Daddy's got you." Tasha grips her daughter, finally able to exhale, though her body remains tense from hours of terror. Riker's eyes dart to the mess he created. Broken furniture, scattered honor roll certificates, student council papers ripped across the floor. Each object is a tangible reminder of the terror his extreme racism inflicted on an innocent family. Sweat streams down his face, his chest heaving, voice trembling as he mutters, I didn't mean." The words fall flat, powerless against the reality of his actions. Outside, neighbors continue to whisper, film, and some even call the authorities to report the violent, racist attack. Riker realizes that the network of accountability, legal, social, and public, is closing in on him. His badge, once a shield for his hatred, can no longer protect him from the consequences of his actions. The extreme racism he wielded like a weapon has turned against him completely. ... Marcus rises, standing between his family and Riker, projecting calm authority. The law is clear, and the evidence is undeniable. You will answer for every act of violence, every racial slur, and every intimidation tactic used against my family. Your actions have consequences, and you are about to face them. His tone is steady, resonant, carrying the weight of authority and moral power. Riker collapses further into the chair, realizing he is completely isolated. The neighbors, the officers who failed to intervene, and even his own ego offer no refuge. Extreme racism, once his source of confidence, is now the instrument of his public shame and legal downfall. The realization hits him fully. His career is over, his reputation destroyed, and the law will not overlook the hatred he acted upon. Marcus kneels to Tasha and Zoe, enveloping them in a protective embrace. "We made it through. Together," he whispers. "Nothing they did can take away our strength or our dignity." Tasha hugs her husband and daughter tightly, tears streaming down her face, but a smile slowly breaking through the tension. The family's unity, courage, and composure have withstood the full force of Riker's extreme racism. Riker, meanwhile, slumps in total defeat. His uniform is ruined, his badge meaningless, and his career in ruins. The extreme racism that defined his actions has become the very evidence that guarantees his punishment. Outside, cameras continue to roll, neighbors whisper, and justice begins its inevitable course. The Reed family begins to survey the damage, slowly reclaiming their home and peace. Broken objects, scattered papers, and dust remain, but their strength, unity, and dignity remain intact. Marcus's authority, calm, and strategic thinking have ensured that extreme racism, no matter how violently enacted, cannot stand against truth, law, and resilience. Sunlight filters through the broken blinds, illuminating the scene. A family scarred but unbroken. A predator humbled, and extreme racism exposed for the world to see. The chaos is fading, but the lesson is indelibly clear. Hate, unchecked and violent, cannot survive in the face of authority, evidence, and courage.